Ben Simmons is done. He's just done. The Nets, they finally shut him down. He hasn't played since February 15. Is it over for him?
Yeah, it's officially over. There was some hope when he got traded to the Nets, a new situation, a new team. He didn't have to be the guy with Kyrie and KD, but at this point, he's finished.
Before we get into the Ben Simmons slander, though, if you haven't already, make sure you leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on one of our videos. Apparently now he's not going to be with the team at all.
If you're out, you got a back issue, whatever. Not sure I'm buying it, but why are you not with the team? They're still in the playoffs competing. Like, support your team, dude.
You can't get on a plane. Your back's that bad. You can't get on a plane. Nope, you're going home.
Can't even show up for that?
He can't show up for anything. That's his thing, though.
That's what he's known for at this point. Just not showing up.
It's so bizarre, too. This guy has had one of the most incredible falls of any player you'll ever see.
Yeah, he was one of the most hyped prospects ever. Like, it's rare we get these guys who they're like the next LeBron or the next guy. We get one like every 5 years, and he was one of them. And now I think it's fair to call him a bust at this point.
Oh, he's 100% a bust, but he's different from a bust like a Shabazz Muhammad, right? Who you saw him in college and you're like, okay, this guy actually sucks. Ben Simmons, in high school, he looked good, although he did almost lose to my high school in his senior year. Lost by 1 point on a bullshit call, but whatever. I mean, he looked good in college. His team wasn't very good, but he got picked number 1 overall. He was looking good.
Yeah, he was looking good. Won that Rookie of the Year. People are a bit hesitant if he was actual rookie. Donovan Mitchell didn't think so. They had that little beef, but he looked good in college. He looked good initially. He could play defense. He was kind of like this future prototype guy where it was 6'10", could handle the ball, couldn't shoot, but could do just about everything else. And it looked like he had such a bright future.
Well, Colin Cowherd said in 2018 he was the 5th best player in the NBA.
That's one of the worst basketball takes I've ever heard. Like, are you serious?
If you look at the list, it was LeBron, KD, AD, and I think it was Steph.
Yes.
The only players in the NBA in 2018 who were better than Ben Simmons.
Yeah, over Harden, over Giannis. He criticized Giannis for not being able to shoot, but was like, yeah, Ben Simmons, 5th best player for sure.
Well, he also criticized Westbrook for getting too many rebounds. He's like, I don't need my guard to rebound. But then Ben Simmons comes around, well, he's gonna get you rebounds, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He pulls down 8 rebounds a game.
And the whole thing with Ben Simmons, he never got better. He just never got better, especially on the offensive end more so. There was always this thing about, well, if Ben Simmons could develop that jumper, then he'd be unstoppable. And he never even remotely developed a jumper.
Not only did he not get significantly better, he didn't get even marginally better.
No, not at all.
He didn't even have slight improvements where you're like, okay, it's slow, but he's making progress. No.
Do you think he shoots with the wrong hand? Could that be a problem?
I feel like he's 26 at this point. If he was shooting with the wrong hand, I feel like somebody would have told him by this point. Someone would go to him and say, Ben, stop shooting with your left hand. It's over.
It's weird though, because I've seen clips of him just like warming up in a gym, draining threes. There's even clips of him warming up before his Sixers games, just like draining threes in the corner. And you're like, what? How? Because it looks natural to him. Like Giannis's jumper looks wonky as hell, but when Ben Simmons hits a shot, you see the clips, it looks like a natural shot, but for whatever reason in games just does not work out.
Well, I think those clips have single-handedly conditioned NBA fans to never trust like workout clips ever again.
Exactly.
Because if you only looked at workout clips of Ben Simmons, you'd be like, this guy's got a nice, smooth jumper. Because like you said, his form looks fine. Like there's not much wrong with his form. Could it be better? Of course. But there's no hitch to it. There's nothing inherently wrong with it.
Yeah, I remember there was one off season on Twitter. There was like the clip of him hitting threes and people were like, oh, Ben Simmons this year, look out. He might have added a jumper to his game. But no, of course it didn't happen.
Well, I mean, this was the guy who was getting fans in Philadelphia to go insane when he just hit a 3 against some random Chinese team in an exhibition game. That's how bad it got with Ben Simmons' jumper. His real, worst moment, though, those 2021 playoffs.
Yikes.
He looked fine against Washington. He was awful in game 1, but after that, it was basically just his normal self. Against Atlanta, though, I don't know what they did to him. He just froze up in a way that we have not seen since LeBron in the 2011 finals.
That single series, that single game 7 where he passed the ball when Trae Young was turning on him, that ruined his career. And I've never seen a player where just one specific moment in one game ruined their career, and they were never the same. The whole thing is he was afraid to shoot, but more so he was afraid to get fouled to go to the free throw line. He could not make a free throw that series.
Well, that's the big thing. It's like, bro, you can't be scared to go to the free throw line. That's one of the things that I love about Giannis. Like, Giannis is not very good at free throws, but he walks to the line. He looks confident every time. He's not afraid of getting fouled. He's not afraid of shooting those free throws. Like, I think he said stuff like before, like, you know, the worst thing that can happen is I just miss it.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm going to miss a bunch more in the future, but if I get fouled, I got to go to the line and shoot it. And it's like, if you turn around and it's Clint Capella there.
Right.
Like, okay, fine. If it's John Collins, sure. This is 5'11" Trae Young, a guy who's literally shorter than us.
You know Trae Young was just ready to give up a layup. He was like, all right, we lost 2 points here, whatever. And then he's like, wait, what the hell? He just passed the ball. And Matisse Thybulle missed one of the free throws, I remember. So it cost them points.
And then after the game, Joel Embiid was asked, what was the turning point, Joel?
But I thought the turning point was just, you know, we had an open shot and, you know, we made one free throw and we missed the other.
This pairing's never going to play a game again.
Yeah, Joel was like, what the hell do you think the turning point was? Like, you watched that game. You don't need me to say it. We all knew.
We all know.
20,000 people just witnessed it.
And millions more on live TV.
Everyone on Twitter's talking about it. We all know. I remember TNT after the game, they were spent like 15 minutes just going over based on that single play. Like, and then Doc Rivers after the game when he was asked, can this team win a championship with Ben Simmons?
Yeah, David, I don't know that question or the answer to that right now.
Okay, look, Doc Rivers spoke only the truth.
He did.
That being said, this was a horrible answer on his part. I don't know how you can say that about your star point guard, but your point guard who you drafted #1 overall, who you're paying upwards of $35 million. You just gotta bite the bullet and say, yes, we have full confidence in Ben going forward. He had a bad, moment tonight, but we're gonna work with him and are gonna get through it. You do not say, when asked, can you win a championship with this guy? You don't say essentially, I don't know.
He's like, so do you see that game? Hell no. Like,
okay, at least he didn't say that.
Yeah, he might as well have as far as an NBA press conference goes. Like, I remember when I saw that, I was like, yikes, this is a disaster.
Well, the disaster only got worse the next year because Ben Simmons essentially missed a full season with hurt feelings.
Yeah, that was so interesting. We haven't seen something like that. Like, usually a player will demand a trade and sit out. There was the weird Kawhi situation that one year, but I've never seen a situation like that for a star.
NBA holdouts are rare as is. How many can you remember? Ben Simmons, Kawhi, I guess, although he claimed to have an injury.
Yeah.
Other than that, Jimmy Butler, he demanded a trade, he played. Harden demanded a trade, he played. Kyrie and KD, they both demanded trades, they played.
Yeah, I can't think of any.
Bill Walton held out in like the 70s to get the Blazers to trade him. I'm sure there are other ones that we are unaware of, but at least in recent history, I can't think of any.
He got fined damn near every day for it.
So we found this out actually because we didn't know this. Ben Simmons is officially the most fined player in NBA history because he was fined apparently upwards of $20 million.
That's crazy. He's the last player I would think of as the most fined player. I think like Sheed, Draymond.
Players get what, like $5,000 per technical? Even if you look at Sheed's worst year, right? That's $200,000 in fines. Ben Simmons essentially was catching that like weekly.
And what happened? They came to a settlement. He got like some of the money for his contract. Honestly, he should not have gotten any. He didn't play a single game for him.
If I was the Sixers, I would have just been so petty. I would have fought tooth and nail. I don't care how much it would have cost the lawyers. I don't care if it would have cost more than I would have actually had to pay Ben.
It's not about money. It's about sending a message.
And then eventually he's traded the Nets, and that was one of the most out of left field trades I can even remember, because there was rumors about it a couple days before the trade deadline, and then it just happened out of nowhere, and this is one of the biggest fleeces in NBA history.
Oh, it's up there. Like at the time, people were like, okay, Philly obviously won this trade.
Yeah.
Philly obviously won the trade. But the Nets, they get back Ben Simmons, a guy who can pass, a guy who can play defense, two things that the Nets needed with KD and Kyrie. So like, plus they got back Seth Curry, they got back Andre Drummond, they got a few picks as insurance. Like, it could have been worse. Well, worse is here.
Yeah. I thought it was decent for the Nets at the time because it kind of made them a more complete team. Obviously, keeping Harden was the better option, but if he wanted out, it seemed like you had a guy that can play defense, and then you add some depth and some future assets. And then less than a year later, now it's like, holy shit, they lost James Harden and they got back a negative asset in Ben Simmons at this point.
Not just a negative asset, they got back maybe the worst contract in NBA history. Because he is still on the book for $37 million next year and over $40 million in 2024 and 2025.
That $40 million price tag. Just imagine having to pay Ben Simmons, who at that point will probably be averaging like 6 points a game, like 4 rebounds, 4 assists.
Well, is he going to be playing?
He'll play like 30 games probably, and then again, back soreness, like every single time. Always this dude's damn back. Like, get this man a better mattress or something.
Exactly. Send him to a chiropractor.
Yeah.
Get him some acupuncture, something.
Well, there was some hope for this season because he missed the entire year. He had the offseason to get his mind right. You had a lot of drama in the offseason for the Nets, but everyone came back. Ben Simmons finally was coming back and playing for the Nets, and he really has never looked good the entire season.
Drops it off.
Averaging 7 points, 6 boards, 6 assists. He's still fine on defense, but his scoring is halved, and he is shooting under 44% from the free throw line.
Somehow he's got to get decent at free throws because he's already afraid to shoot the ball. If you're afraid to shoot the ball and you suck at free throws, you're never going to shoot because there's no good outcome.
No, not at all. Genuinely, I feel like there are most guys in the NBA who could shoot better than Ben Simmons with either their eyes closed or with one hand.
I think some players could shoot better backwards.
And it's just gone from bad to worse because, again, with coaches and just making bad statements about Ben Simmons, Jacques Vaughn essentially came out and said, I don't know what to do with this guy.
Yeah. The problem is his game worked when he was aggressive, he could score a bit, and he could set up. But now he kind of plays this weird off-ball role where he doesn't like the ball in his hands. He's not aggressive at all. So he's just kind of this big out there that can't shoot free throws, clogs the lane,
doesn't want to shoot,
isn't a traditional big, so he can't just play in the middle and guard the rim. He doesn't have a role in the modern NBA with his current play style.
He's just a 6'10 athlete.
Yeah, that's literally what he is.
That's all he is.
Like a 6'10", 60 overall in my career that you haven't upgraded yet. Like, that's what he is right now.
What's his future, though? Because I genuinely think when his contract is up, he's retiring.
I agree at this point. He clearly does not love basketball.
No, not at all.
He must have just been this guy who's always been great at basketball, so he played it. It obviously pays him a lot, that $40 million he's going to make. So I think he'll collect the checks, and then I don't know what he does.
He's going to be a socialite. Lest we forget the young socialite tag he got when he demanded a trade, because the Blazers were one of the teams that was pitched originally as a team that was maybe going to trade for him, and apparently he didn't want that. He wanted to trade to either New York or the LA teams because, as the one insider put it, the young socialite that he is. And at that point, it's like, okay, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Every single year, it just looks worse and worse. I don't know what to say at this point.
I mean, he's got all the physical tools.
Yeah, Ben Simmons has all the tools. Like, I don't know how many guys can really handle the basketball like him at his size. Like, he's taller than LeBron, he's longer than LeBron, like KD, I guess, but a 6'10" point guard?
He's a better ball handler than Giannis is.
Yeah, for sure. That can distribute and everything. That's insanely rare, but he lost everything. I don't know what happened. He just lost it.
It's done. He's retired in 2 years.
He's cooked.
He's done. That's the video, guys. What do you think is next for Ben Simmons? I'd love to hear what you think in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving it a like, as it really does help us out. And hey, while you're here, why not check out some of our other videos as well? And don't forget to subscribe to Synthetic Sports.